Good evening everybody, welcome back to the potting shed. And I had a question from Patrick about watering. He's got a few veggies in containers, and what I thought I'd do is just do a quick video to basically tell you the do's and don'ts of watering. So best time of the day to water plants is in the morning, first thing. I normally do it before I go to work, before the sun gets too high, and in the evening when I get home from work, anything that needs an extra drink, I give it a bit of a drink then. Don't water at midday, because water on the leaves will scorch them and could possibly kill your plants. The equipment I tend to use is I've got a watering can with a nozzle on the end. The nozzle's called a rose in horticulture. So I use that for the fine seedlings and anything that's a bit more delicate. I have got a hose pipe with a nozzle on the end as well that I can turn into a fine spray, and that can get the humidity up in the greenhouse and stuff. That's quite handy for cooling the place down as well. And another thing that I use is I've got like a small tub that I've got some water in the bottom of it. It's only about 2 or 3 inches deep, but any plants in containers that need a drink, sometimes I sit them in that tub and they take the water up from underneath. That's a really good way to water, you know, and get the water into the actual compost and give it a good full drink. Sometimes if you water on top with a hose pipe or with a watering can, it sits on the top, gets in so far, doesn't soak the whole compost. If you sort of immerse the pot a little bit into a couple of inches of water, eventually it'll draw that water up and give the compost a really good soak. Looking at plants and deciding whether they need a water or not. I mean, the signs of drought really are seeing the plant wilt, so the new stems will start to bend, and in a really serious case the leaves will start to go brown and crispy. You know, the plants are under signs of stress, so stressed plants tend to attract more pests and diseases as well. So it's worthwhile watering your plants regularly. So get into the routine of doing it in the morning and also in the evening. Different types of pots require more water, so I have a lot of cacti and succulents. They're in terracotta pots. Terracotta's porous, so the water is taken out through the actual clay, the terracotta. They dry out very quickly, which is great for cacti and succulents, but not so much for other plants. Plastic pots are quite good because they're not porous, they keep the moisture in, and glazed pots are the same, they'll keep the moisture in more. Ways of testing your plants. Right, well, I'm going to do a little demonstration in a minute, so I'm going to pause it there and I'll come back and try and edit this clip with another one in a second. All right. Okay, so I've got a few pots here. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, looking at the top of the compost, it looks quite dry, doesn't it, compared to, that's really dark. Okay, so the darker the compost, the more water it's holding, as a rule of thumb. The other thing you can do is pick the pot up and feel the weight of it. If there's a lot of water in there, the compost will be dark and it will feel heavier. This is fairly light, so all I'm going to do with these, I'm just going to take out the lighter coloured ones because I don't want to water them all. And I'm just going to start watering in front, move over the plants, make sure they've had a good drink, and then move back and stop again. That's these drips coming out. Aren't making great big holes in your compost. Now the greenhouse is quite big, so there's a lot to water in here. I'd normally use the hose pipe and the nozzle, and I'd water around the base of each plant, maybe mist over the top of the spinach. Alright, plants in pots, I'd use the watering can. What else have we got? I've got some peppers up here. Now these are quite dry. I will give them a drink, but they don't need as much water as some of the other plants that I've got. Okay, these two little peppers are looking really dry. They feel quite light. So another method I use for watering, as you can see, this is the little tub I was telling you about before. Just an inch or two of water in, and I just leave that in there, and that will soak up the water. And I generally have this little tub filled up with water, and then anything that needs a drink when I get home, I can just pop it in. Other than that, I think that's it for watering. Like I say, water in the morning, water in the evening, and don't water in the midday sun. Right, I hope this was helpful. Please leave me a comment if you like it. Please leave me a like, and if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. I will see you all soon. Bye now.